She was just 17 when she caught the eye of the world's most dangerous man. By 18, Emma Coronel Aispuro had married El Chapo Guzman and stepped into a life most of us can't even imagine. Private jets, diamond-encrusted jewelry, and mansions worth millions became her everyday reality. But behind the glamour was a billion-dollar drug empire built on violence and blood money. This is the story of the narco princess who had everything, and the shocking truth about what it really cost her. Today, we're diving deep into the billionaire lifestyle of El Chapo's wife, and trust me, what you're about to discover will blow your mind. Most people think they know Emma Coronel's story, the beauty queen who married a drug lord, lived in luxury, and then got arrested. But that's just scratching the surface. The real story involves a $12.6 billion empire, a carefully orchestrated prison escape, and a lifestyle so extravagant it makes Hollywood movies look modest. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how Emma went from small-town girl to cartel queen, the shocking details of her billionaire lifestyle, and the dramatic downfall that changed everything. But first, let me show you just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Emma Modesta Coronel Aispuro wasn't born into luxury, she was born into crime. Growing up in La Angostura, a tiny village in Durango, Mexico, Emma's childhood was far from ordinary. Her father, Inés Coronel Barreras, was a cattle rancher and alleged Sinaloa cartel operative who was later sanctioned and jailed for drug trafficking. Her uncle was Ignacio Nacho Coronel, a top cartel boss who pioneered meth trafficking until Mexican forces killed him in 2010. But Emma's real transformation began at 17 during the 2007 Coffee and Guava Festival beauty pageant in Canelas, Durango. This wasn't just any local contest, it became the stage for one of the most dramatic courtships in cartel history. Picture this, hundreds of black-clad gunmen on motorcycles flooding the small town as an advanced security force. Then a private plane lands, and out steps Joaquin El Chapo Guzman himself, carrying an automatic weapon, to personally attend a teenage beauty queen celebration. The 50-year-old drug lord had come for 17-year-old Emma, and he made his intentions crystal clear. That night, as expensive whiskey flowed freely and Guzman danced for hours with the teenage contestant, it wasn't just a party, it was a declaration of sovereignty. The cartel controlled everything, even local beauty contests. Unsurprisingly, Emma won the crown and announced her engagement to Guzman on July 2, 2007, her 18th birthday. When Emma married El Chapo, she didn't just gain a husband, she gained access to one of the largest criminal fortunes in history. U.S. prosecutors later estimated Guzman's empire generated roughly $14 billion over the years, and Emma was about to experience what unlimited money could buy. Let's start with real estate. Emma and El Chapo owned dozens of properties across Mexico, but these weren't ordinary homes. One favorite was a $10 million beachside villa in Acapulco, complete with its own private zoo housing lions, tigers, and panthers. Guests could ride an actual miniature train through the grounds to see the exotic animals roaming the property. Another Guzman family property in the Guadalajara area was described as a very nice ranch house with 4 swimming pools, tennis courts, and another private zoo filled with deer and big cats. There was even a luxury yacht nicknamed Chapito, Little Chapo, anchored at one of his properties for leisure cruising. But Emma's personal residences were equally impressive. She maintained a substantial mansion in Culiacan, Mexico, the geographical heartland of the Sinaloa cartel, and a condo in Guadalajara, both worth millions of dollars. One of the most jaw-dropping perks of Emma's life was access to private aircraft for virtually any trip. By the mid-1990s, Guzman had 4 jets, according to testimony by his close lieutenant Miguel Angel Martinez. These weren't just for occasional use. The Sinaloa cartel kept its planes busy, and Emma could hop between Guzman's various hideaways by private jet, flying under the radar of commercial airports. The cartel's jets were routinely loaded with $8 to $10 million in cash for transport from Tijuana to Mexico City almost every month as proceeds from U.S. drug sales. But for Emma, these planes meant something different: unlimited first-class travel around the world. "We traveled the world," Martinez testified, listing trips to Brazil, Argentina, Aruba, all of Europe, Japan, Hong Kong, Thailand, Peru, Cuba, and more. as Guzman's wife Emma could indulge in international shopping sprees, beach vacations, and gambling getaways with ease. Some particularly outlandish trips became legendary. Guzman's favorite destinations included Macau's casinos for high-stakes gambling and Switzerland for anti-aging treatments at exclusive clinics. Emma's love affair with luxury was most visible in her fashion choices and jewelry collection. She was almost always seen sporting high-end designers like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Dolce & Gabbana. Fox News noted her particular love of Prada handbags and other status symbol items. She reportedly carried a rare Hermes cosmetic bag valued around $30,000. But it was during El Chapo's sentencing hearing in July 2019 that Emma's taste for luxury reached its peak. She arrived at the Brooklyn courtroom wearing a stunning array of Cartier jewelry with a hidden romantic message. On her wrists were 3 Cartier love bracelets, 2 solid gold ones worth about $6,600 each, and a third, an extravagant 18-karat gold bracelet studded with 216 diamonds totaling 3.16 carats, valued at approximately $60,000. She paired these with a Cartier Ballon blue gold and steel wristwatch priced around $9,000. In total, Emma wore well over $85,000 in jewelry on her body that day. Mexican media speculated these opulent accessories were likely gifts from Guzman, symbolic tokens of eternal love as the couple faced his life sentence. Perhaps nothing illustrated Emma's access to unlimited wealth better than the over-the-top birthday extravaganza she orchestrated for her twin daughters in 2018. While her husband sat in a U.S. prison, Emma threw a completely immersive, glitzy Barbie-themed party for Maria Joaquina and Emily Guadalupe's 7th birthday in Culiacan. The party was a pink paradise featuring life-size Barbie cutouts, thousands of pink balloons and flowers, a Barbie pink 3-tier cake, carnival rides, and even a mock boutique, all staged in a setting that looked like a Hollywood movie set. The twins arrived in matching dresses and carried matching Louis Vuitton handbags, a detail that drew widespread attention. Emma, dressed in 4-inch heels, posed in front of a custom pink mansion backdrop, embodying the role of a doting mother providing an unbelievable childhood for her girls, all funded by the illicit billions of the Sinaloa cartel. The party became an infamous symbol of Emma's lavish lifestyle, prompting observers and even U.S. officials to condemn the open display of blood money-fueled wealth. Emma's transportation options were as extravagant as everything else in her life. She was often surrounded by luxury cars from brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini, BMW, Audi, Porsche, and Mercedes-Benz. Her personal collection included 2 of the most recognizable symbols of ostentatious wealth, a Rolls-Royce and a Lamborghini, with values estimated in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Whether these vehicles were officially hers or part of the cartel's stable, they featured prominently in her social media posts and public sightings, further burnishing her image as a narco celebrity who lived in fast and opulent style. But Emma wasn't just a passive consumer of cartel wealth. She was an active participant in the criminal enterprise. Court documents reveal that her direct criminal conspiracy spanned from approximately 2011 to 2017, and her most critical function emerged following Guzman's 2014 capture. Emma played an essential role in orchestrating El Chapo's spectacular 2015 escape from the Altiplano maximum security prison. She coordinated the movement of drug proceeds specifically to finance the complex escape plan, assisted in purchasing property near the prison to provide a staging ground for the tunnel's exit, and provided Guzman with a watch containing a GPS tracking device essential for pinpointing his location beneath the prison walls. This wasn't just loyalty, it was operational competence that demonstrated Emma's value as a trusted operative whose dual citizenship and familial ties were strategically leveraged to execute a criminal operation estimated to have cost millions of dollars. Emma cultivated a carefully crafted public image of glamour and loyalty, gaining hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram by sharing glimpses of her lavish life. Before her account was deactivated, she posted photos of herself lounging poolside in designer swimsuits, strutting in chic outfits and oversized sunglasses, and even firing a pistol at an indoor shooting range. Media outlets dubbed her the Mexican Kim Kardashian, for her stylish looks and penchant for selfies, luxury handbags, and form-fitting dresses. She embraced the celebrity lifestyle, appearing at a Yankees baseball game in New York, and later taking a turn modeling at Milan Fashion Week in 2024 after her release from prison. What many people don't realize is that Emma's lifestyle was supported not just by drug trafficking, but by a sophisticated network of legitimate businesses used to launder cartel money. The Guzman organization had tentacles reaching into many industries: frozen food companies, trucking firms, and even a water park called Los Cascabel Aquatic Park, complete with pools and winding water slides. One of the most bizarre fronts was a daycare center that Emma's family opened in 2001, called Estancia Infantil Niño Feliz, translated to Happy Child Daycare. The registered partners included Guzman himself, his wife Rosario, and one of his daughters. Local parents dropped off their kids, never suspecting the daycare was bankrolled by one of Mexico's biggest drug lords. Here's where Emma's story takes a dramatic turn. Despite all the billions flowing through the Sinaloa cartel, when Emma finally faced U.S. justice in 2021, she agreed to forfeit only $1,499,970 in illicit proceeds. This relatively minuscule amount, when contrasted with Guzman's court-ordered forfeiture of $12.6 billion, reveals the sophisticated legal strategy that kept most assets out of her direct ownership. The low forfeiture suggests that the largest assets, the private jets, yachts, and vast holdings, were successfully shielded through shell companies or held under associates' names, insulating Emma from direct seizure of the empire's grandest spoils. On February 22, 2021, Emma's fairy tale came crashing down when federal agents arrested her at Dulles Airport outside Washington, D.C. The glamorous socialite who once seemed untouchable was now charged with helping run the very cartel her husband had led. In June 2021, she pleaded guilty to drug trafficking, money laundering, and helping her husband's empire. In court, she looked nervous and emotional, telling the judge through a translator that she was remorseful and begging not to be separated from her young daughters. Her gamble worked. In November 2021, she was sentenced to just 3 years in prison, far less than the 10 years or more she could have faced. She was also ordered to forfeit $1.5 million, a small sum compared to the billions Guzman had made. Emma was released in September 2023 after serving about 2.5 years. Almost immediately, she began stepping back into the spotlight. In 2024, she appeared on the runway at Milan Fashion Week dressed as a bride, a symbolic reinvention for a woman once defined by her marriage to El Chapo. Whether she fades into quiet life or reinvents herself again, one thing is certain: Emma Coronel will always remain a symbol of the blurred line between glamour and crime, loyalty and betrayal. Emma Coronel's story is more than just a tale of luxury and crime. It's a masterclass in how power, money, and image intersect in the modern world. From a small-town beauty queen to cartel queen to federal prisoner to Fashion Week model, her journey reveals the complex reality behind the headlines. The numbers are staggering: a $12.6 billion empire, $85,000 in jewelry worn to a single court hearing, private jets worth millions, and a lifestyle that most billionaires would envy. Yet in the end, it all came down to a $1.5 million forfeiture and 3 years in prison. But here's what's really fascinating, and what most people miss about this story. Emma's tale isn't just about the past. It's about how criminal empires adapt, evolve, and reinvent themselves in the digital age. The same woman who once coordinated prison escapes is now walking fashion runways, transforming notoriety into a new kind of currency. If you found this deep dive into Emma Coronel's billion-dollar lifestyle as mind-blowing as I did, you need to watch this next video where I break down the even more secretive world of El Mayo Zambada, the man who built a cartel empire while staying completely invisible for over 50 years. His story will show you that sometimes the most powerful people are the ones you've never heard of. Click here to discover the billionaire life of the ghost who controlled Mexico's underworld.